Disclaimer: this content is only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. I never thought my marriage, the life I built with the man I love, would unravel over a single conversation. It started as an ordinary evening. I was scrolling through old photos on my phone, reminiscing about the past, when I came across a familiar face in a picture I had never seen before. My sister, laughing, her hand resting on the shoulder of a man I knew all too well, my husband. My stomach twisted. I zoomed in, hoping my eyes were playing tricks on me. But there was no denying it. The way he looked at her. The way she leaned into him. It wasn't just a casual photo. It was intimate. Familiar. Like a moment shared between two people who had been more than just acquaintances. My heart pounded as I turned to him, my voice barely a whisper. "Why do you have a picture with my sister?" His face paled. I saw the hesitation in his eyes, the split second of panic before he forced a casual smile. That was a long time ago. My hands felt clammy as I tightened my grip on the phone. "How long ago?" I pressed. That's when he sighed, running a hand through his hair like he was preparing for something big. "Before I met you," he admitted. I dated her, but it wasn't serious. 1,000 thoughts ran through my mind. How could he not have told me this? My sister, my own flesh and blood, had dated the man I married, and I was just now finding out. Suddenly, moments that once felt normal seemed tainted. The way my sister had been distant at our wedding, how she had avoided talking about him in the past. Had she been hiding something? Had they ended things on bad terms? Or worse, was there still something between them? I didn't know whether to feel betrayed, hurt, or just plain confused. My sister never mentioned this. Not once. Had she kept it from me on purpose? Had he? Or was I overreacting? My mind raced, torn between confronting my sister, demanding more answers from my husband, or simply pretending I never saw the photo at all. But one thing was clear: nothing in my marriage, or my family, would ever feel the same again. What would you do if you found out your partner had a history with someone close to you? Would you confront them, or try to move on? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for the next part of the story, because trust me, this is only the beginning. I couldn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, the image of that photo flashed in my mind, my husband and my sister, smiling, looking like a couple. I turned over in bed, staring at the ceiling while he lay beside me, breathing evenly, as if nothing had changed. But for me, everything had. The next morning, I woke up with a heaviness in my chest. I needed answers, but I didn't even know where to start. Should I ask my sister first? Or should I push my husband to tell me more? A part of me didn't want to hear it. Maybe it really wasn't a big deal. Maybe it was just a short-lived relationship that ended before I even met him. But if that were true, why did I feel like something was being kept from me? I picked up my phone, my fingers hovering over my sister's contact. We weren't as close as we used to be. Growing up, we had our differences, but she was still my sister. Lately, though, she had been distant. She missed family gatherings, rarely returned my calls, and when she did show up, she always seemed distracted. Was this the reason why? Had she been avoiding me because of him? Before I could talk myself out of it, I called her. It rang twice before she picked up. "Hey," she said, sounding hesitant. "Hey," I replied, trying to keep my voice steady. I need to ask you something." There was a pause. "Okay, what's up?" I swallowed hard. "Did you ever date my husband?" I expected her to deny it, to laugh it off like it was ridiculous. But instead, there was silence. Long, heavy silence. My heart pounded. Finally, she exhaled sharply. "So, he told you." That was all I needed to hear. My stomach dropped. "So it's true?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "It was a long time ago," she said quickly. "Before you even knew him." I didn't think it mattered. "But it does matter," I shot back. "You've been hiding this from me." "Why?" She sighed. "Because I knew it would change things between us." And because, she hesitated, and my fingers tightened around the phone. "Because it didn't end the way you think it did." My breath caught in my throat. What do you mean? She hesitated again. I don't know if I should be the one to tell you. A cold chill ran through me. What was she trying to say? What was he hiding? I had a feeling that whatever came next, I wasn't ready for it. Let me know in the comments, would you want to hear the truth, no matter what? Stay tuned for the next part, because things are about to get even more complicated. I could feel my heartbeat in my ears as my sister's words hung in the air. Because it didn't end the way you think it did. What did that even mean? My grip on the phone tightened. What aren't you telling me? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She hesitated again, and that silence felt worse than anything she could have said. I don't think I should be the one to explain, she finally said. You need to ask him. I let out a shaky breath. I already did. And all he told me was that it wasn't serious. She laughed, but it wasn't her usual light-hearted laugh. It was hollow, almost bitter. That's what he said, she muttered. Wow. A wave of unease crashed over me. Why do I feel like there's something really important I don't know? Because there is, she admitted. But it's not my place to say. Before I could press her for more, she suddenly mumbled, I have to go, and hung up. I stared at my screen, my mind racing. My hands felt cold, my stomach twisting in knots. My own sister was keeping something from me. And so was my husband. I walked into the kitchen, where he was making coffee like it was just another normal morning. He looked up and smiled, but when he saw my face, his expression shifted. You talked to her, didn't you? I crossed my arms. Yeah. And she told me I should be asking you for the truth. He sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. Look, I didn't tell you because it wasn't relevant. It was years ago. You and I are married now. That's what matters. Not relevant. I repeated, my voice rising. She clearly thinks it is. And the way she reacted, it didn't sound like just some casual fling. So tell me, what aren't you saying? He hesitated. For the first time since this conversation started, he actually looked nervous. It's complicated, he said finally. I felt my stomach drop. That wasn't the kind of answer you give when there's nothing to hide. I took a step closer. Then uncomplicate it. He exhaled, looking at me like he was deciding whether to say something or keep it buried. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. Whatever he was about to tell me could change everything. What do you think? Is my sister hiding something big, or is my husband the one with the real secret? Comment below with your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe for the next part, because trust me, this story is far from over. He ran a hand through his hair, exhaling slowly like he was about to confess something impossible. My pulse quickened. Just tell me, I whispered, bracing myself. I didn't think it would ever come up, he started, his voice low. Because I didn't think it mattered anymore. But I see now, maybe I should have told you from the beginning. I didn't blink. Told me what? He hesitated, then finally said, your sister and I, we were serious. The words sent a chill through me. Serious? I repeated. My chest felt tight. As in, you loved her. He didn't answer right away. And that silence told me more than words ever could. I took a shaky step back, my mind spinning. All this time, I thought they had just dated casually, maybe for a few months. But now, standing in my kitchen, I was realizing that the man I married, the person I had built a life with, had once loved my sister in a way I never even knew about. How serious? I asked, barely able to get the words out. He looked down at the floor, then back at me. We were together for almost 2 years. I felt like I couldn't breathe. 2 years. That wasn't just a past relationship. That was a whole chapter of his life. A chapter that involved my sister. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because I moved on, he said quickly. She moved on. We ended it, and that was that. But why did you break up? I asked, my voice sharper than I intended. Why did it really end? His jaw tensed, and that hesitation was back. It was complicated. I shook my head. Stop saying that. Just tell me the truth. Before he could answer, my phone buzzed on the counter. My sister's name flashed on the screen. I grabbed it without thinking. What? I demanded. Her voice was shaky. I should have told you sooner. I turned away from my husband, gripping the phone. Told me what? A long pause. Then she whispered, we didn't break up because we wanted to. He left because he had no choice. I froze. What do you mean? She hesitated. Ask him if he ever told you about her. I felt the air leave my lungs. Her? Who was she talking about? I turned back to my husband, my heart pounding. He was staring at me now, his face pale. And I knew, in that moment, he already knew exactly what she meant. What do you think? Who is her, and what secret is my husband keeping? Comment below with your predictions, and don't forget to subscribe because things are about to take a shocking turn. The room felt impossibly small as I turned to face my husband. My sister's words still echoed in my head. Ask him if he ever told you about her. His expression changed in an instant, his face drained of color, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. I wasn't sure if it was guilt or fear, but it was clear, he knew exactly who she meant. I held up my phone. Who is she? My voice wavered, but I forced myself to stand firm. He didn't answer right away. His gaze flickered to the floor, to the wall, anywhere but at me. The silence stretched between us, thick with something unspoken. Tell me, I pressed. Who is her? He let out a slow breath and finally met my eyes. She was someone from my past. I scoffed. You mean like my sister? His jaw tightened. No. Not like that. My stomach twisted. Then who? He hesitated, rubbing the back of his neck. It was before I met you. Before I met her, even. He glanced at my phone, like he was debating whether to say more. I was in a relationship. It ended, badly. Something about the way he said it sent a shiver down my spine. How badly? He exhaled sharply, shaking his head. She left. She walked away, and I never saw her again. I studied his face, searching for anything that would tell me he was being honest. But there was still something he wasn't saying. So why would my sister bring her up now? He looked at me then, and for the first time, I saw something in his expression that scared me. Regret. Because, he said slowly, she came back. A chill ran down my arms. What? He swallowed hard. A few months ago, I got an email. From her. He ran a hand through his hair. She said she needed to talk. That it was important. I ignored it, but then she sent another one. I took a step back. And you didn't think to tell me? I didn't think it mattered, he said quickly. I didn't respond. I didn't meet up with her. I didn't even tell your sister. But somehow, she found out. My head was spinning. What does she want? His shoulders tensed. I don't know. I didn't believe him. Not for a second. At that moment, my phone buzzed again. Another text, from my sister. My eyes scanned the screen, my breath catching in my throat. I found out why she came back. You need to know. Meet me. Alone. I looked up at my husband, my heart pounding. What aren't you telling me? His face was unreadable now. Don't go, he said quietly. But it was too late. Would you meet up with my sister and find out the truth, or confront my husband first? Comment below with what you'd do next, and don't forget to subscribe, because the real secret is just about to come out. I didn't listen. I couldn't. The moment I read my sister's message, I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. My husband called after me, his voice tight with something between frustration and fear. Don't go. Please. But I didn't stop. The drive to meet my sister felt endless. My mind raced, trying to put the pieces together. My husband's old relationship, the woman who had suddenly reappeared, and my sister who knew something I didn't. Why had she insisted on meeting alone? What did she know that my husband was so afraid of me hearing? I pulled up to the quiet cafe where we had agreed to meet. My sister was already there, sitting in a corner booth, her fingers tapping anxiously against the table. She looked up when I walked in, and I knew immediately whatever she was about to tell me was going to change everything. I slid into the seat across from her. Tell me. She took a deep breath. The woman who came back, she didn't just date him. She hesitated, her fingers tightening around her coffee cup. She was engaged to him. My stomach dropped. What? She was the one he was supposed to marry, she said carefully. Until she disappeared. I shook my head. He said she left him. She did, my sister admitted. But not by choice. I felt the air leave my lungs. What do you mean? She hesitated, then reached into her bag, pulling out a folded piece of paper. She slid it across the table, her expression unreadable. Read it. With shaky fingers, I unfolded the paper. It was a printed email. The name of the sender made my pulse stutter. It was her. I skimmed the words, my hands trembling. She had written about their relationship, how they were happy until the night she found out something that made her run. Something about him. She never explained what, just that it was dangerous, that she had no choice but to leave. And now, after all these years, she was back because she had proof. A chill ran through me. Proof of what? My sister swallowed hard. I don't know. But she said she wanted to meet you. Tonight. My breath hitched. Me. She said you deserved to know who you married. I felt like the ground beneath me had shifted. My husband had told me he loved me, that there were no secrets between us. But now, there was this an entire past life he had never told me about, a fiancé who had vanished, and now, she was back with something she claimed would change everything. I didn't know what to believe anymore. But one thing was clear, I needed to meet her. Would you go meet her and uncover the truth, or confront your husband first? Comment below with what you'd do, and stay tuned for the final part, because the biggest twist is yet to come. I sat in my car outside the meeting spot, my hands gripping the wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. My heart was racing, but I had come this far, I couldn't turn back now. I needed answers. I needed the truth. When I finally stepped inside, she was already waiting. She was younger than I expected, but there was something in her eyes that felt old, like she had seen too much. As soon as she looked up and met my gaze, I knew she wasn't here to lie or manipulate. She was here because she was tired of running. I wasn't sure you'd come, she said softly. I swallowed hard and sat down across from her. I need to know everything. She nodded, then slid her phone across the table. I recorded our last conversation before I left him. I hesitated before hitting play. My husband's voice filled the space between us, calm, composed, but chilling. He was begging her to stay, but underneath it, there was something else. A warning. A quiet threat. If you walk away, you won't just be leaving me, his voice said. You'll be leaving everything we built together. And if you ever come back, I can't promise things will be the same. The recording ended. I stared at the phone, my pulse hammering in my ears. He wasn't just my fiancé, she whispered. He controlled everything, my money, my choices, my life. I had to disappear because I knew if I stayed, I'd never get away. Tears stung my eyes as realization settled in. He had done it before, woven himself into someone's life so deeply that leaving felt impossible. And now, I was the next chapter in that story. I stood up so fast the chair scraped against the floor. I needed to go. I needed to get away from him. By the time I got home, my husband was waiting at the door. Where were you? He asked, his voice careful, too controlled. I met his eyes, no longer afraid. I know the truth. For a moment, he said nothing. Then, a slow smile spread across his lips. And what are you going to do about it? I stared at him, my pulse steady. I'm leaving. He laughed under his breath, shaking his head. You won't. But he was wrong. Because for the first time since this all started, I wasn't afraid anymore. I turned, walked past him, and never looked back. What would you have done in my place? Comment below with your thoughts, and let me know if you'd like a sequel, because sometimes, the story doesn't end when you walk away.